Hi everyone, it's Tammy with Frou-frou Studio. Welcome to my channel. Today is Wednesday Grunge Play, and we are going to make a couple of things for this journal that I'm working on. And if you have not seen the previous videos for this, I made this journal using some muslin, and I sewed the muslin together in the center to create my pages, and then I put cardstock on top of the muslin front and back to make my pages, and I love how it came out. Everything is good and dry now, and so we can go on to making ephemera for this. And I made this pocket in the my Journal With Me video that came out on Monday. And the only additional thing that I did, I think, from the video is I added this little paper clip right here. I found it in my stash, and it has a typewriter on it. So I just added that on there. And that is the only decoration I have done. I do have this grungy little typewriter that I'm going to put somewhere. I haven't decided where yet. So I think I told you in the other video that my idea for this is a journal about a writer, and that's why it has like all the typewriting stuff and letters and numbers and things like that in it. And I have decided that my writer is a newspaper person that writes articles for the newspaper. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to make a press identification card and a photography or photographer's identification card, and also a couple of train tickets. So to do that, oh, and my cover is an old typewriting course book, the kind that flipped up from the top, and I cut it down to make my cover. So that's what my cover is made out of. To make the ID cards, I have Barbara's at 49 Dragonflies. I have printed one of her digitals. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But I have reduced it down so that it'll fit in my journal. And I'm going to be using bits and pieces of it in the journal. I'm not going to be using it as pages or anything like that. But I have picked two of the photographs that I'm going to use for our little press cards. What I also have is this vintage French stamp digi-kit, which is by JournalsbyJessa. And it has some just really cool little stamps that are French, of course. And I'm going to use a couple of those just to look like stamps on the identification cards. I have this little press card and this little photographer's card. And these are from a digital by BohemianCrafting. So that is going to be our little cards. And then I have a couple of pages that are Tim Holtz background pages that I'm going to mount these on so that they have cool grungy little backs. I'm going to use this side so the backs look good and grungy. And then I have another one that I'm going to use for I'm going to stamp the train tickets on these. and use those. I'm going to use this photograph out of Barbara's kit for our photographer. This cool little dude right there. I think he looks like a newspaper photographer. And then I'm going to use this beautiful lady as the reporter. Okay, and then I also have these little hangy clip things, and I'm going to use those on the cards as like, you know, so they could hang it on their shirts or whatever. So I'm going to use those, and then I've got a couple of grommets to put in the cards so that they can hang on the little hooks like that. So that's what we're going to do. And I've also got inks and stamps and all kinds of stuff that we're going to play with. So the first thing we need to do is put our cards together and grunge them up, because it wouldn't be Grunge Wednesday grunge play if we didn't make these look pretty grungy, right? So let's see, where do I want to? I think if I just put one at the top and one at the bottom, I'm going to get some good grunge. So we will glue those on. It doesn't really matter which way. So how is everybody? I just want a double thickness of cardstock is the reason I'm doing this. It's hump day, so I hope everybody's having a good week. Midweek here. And thank you to all my subscribers, and thank you for watching these videos. They're getting a really good response, and I appreciate that very much. So any likes or comments or anything like that that you share is very helpful. And I have some of you guys that comment on every video, and that's really appreciated. Okay, so we're just going to glue these on, and then we're going to cut them out so that we can grunge them further. So they've got to look like they've been used, right? Like they've been traveling around doing some news stories. So I'm just going to roughly cut them to begin with, and then we'll decide what we want to do. I think I want to round the corners. Oh, try straight. I probably should have cut that on the cutter, because obviously I'm not cutting very straight with the scissors. Try the best we can here. All right, that one looks pretty good. Okay. And we'll save this nice scrap. I'll put it down here in my scrap bin. Alright, so let's round the corners. And I'm going to use my little crocodile corner chomper here. Okay, now let's grunge them up a little bit. Yeah, let's see, that makes that look a whole lot more grungy on that side. Straighten that up just a tad. Okay, so what do we want to use? Let's try vintage photo. That may not be dark enough. We may have to go a little darker, but we're going to try this first. See how that looks with the back. Yes, this digital is called Build an ID, and it has, let me show you that, it has all of these passports that you can build. It's really cool. They're all different countries and languages. Czechoslovakian, French. Very cool. So if you like using ID type stuff, passports, that kind of thing in your journals, this is a really good digital for that. This is what I used, I built when I did the Santa passport. As I used one of these. And that's it. That's the last one. So yeah, that's a really cool kit. I'll show you the Santa passport if you have not seen that. This is it. So that's his little passport. But I made this using that one of the passports in that kit. Okay, back to what we were doing. So we'll get these good and grunged up. Ooh, that doesn't look good on the back. How did I do that? Obviously, my cutting is much to be desired today. Let's see what this one looks like. That one looks much better. Okay. Yeah, I thought the reporter thing might be kind of cool, because that will allow me to put some like notepads in there, you know, for writing down stories, and typewriters and old cameras and old pictures. Some negatives, photography negatives will be cool. Okay, so there's that. And oh, I'm gonna put this little, this is a kind of like a splatter stamp, And it is Hampton Art. I don't know if it's still available. Just give it some more splatters on there. And then I think I might use my little stain stencil. If I can reach it. This is Tim Holtz. It's got the little coffee rings. So maybe put a little bit of a coffee ring on there. I used to use the back of this underneath. I think I'll stick with Vintage Photo. Then we'll put a little bit on this one. I don't want it really dark. There we go. Like that. Liking it. Okay, now let's decide what we're going to do for stamping. All right, so this one needs a name and everything. Okay, let's cut our pictures out first and see how those are going to look before we do any stamping. So we'll cut out this young lady. She's going to be our press lady. And then this gentleman. Going to be our photographer. All right, now we have that on there. I'm kind of liking these that are long and narrow. In this kit. Now you could cut these with decal scissors or whatever if you wanted. I'm not really worried about that. And these are printed on newsprint, so they're really, really thin. What color do we want? Maybe blue, this blue one here. Okay, so there's that. Now we can kind of decide where we want to put our stamps. This one has the name and signature and everything on it already. So that one may just need a number or something, or an address, or probably a number. This one, however, is supposed to have a name and an address on it. And so I have this stamp set, which is sample, but I don't know if it has an address that is small enough. I could do this one and just not. I could make it on 2 lines. All right, so if I did it to there, sorry, I'm thinking out loud here. If I inked it to there, all right, let's use, I'm going to use black archival ink for that, but I think I'm going to do just a secondary, because I think if I do it firsthand, it's going to be too dark for me. So I'm going to test it here on my glue book. No, it's not too bad. Okay, so I do not want this might be too tall. I'm going to pull this closer just for a second. No, I think it'll be all right. All right, so I'm going to put that there. Over a little. Can you see what I'm doing? If I mess it up, I can always print it again, right? I would have liked to have gotten that A on there. Okay, now I'm going to move it over. All right, now can I get lucky enough to just get that A? What do you think? We're going to try. Close enough. All right, and then we need a name. I don't think I have a name, but maybe we can make us one. All right, so if I look at this, this says see. That's supposed to be July, I guess. But that looks kind of like a name, doesn't it? It's too big. Alright, so we may have to create a name here out of stamps. Alright, and let's do this Paris. Okay, like that. What about this guy? So you need a... Let's do a Paris on his too. Okay. Now, something that looks like a zip code, maybe? There's a department. We could use that. We could do this one. All right. That looks pretty good. And then we're going to have our little stamp, which is going to cover some of that, but that's okay. So we still need a name. What are we going to name our little press lady? I'll have to think about that. All right, now I'm going to take this stamp, which is out of that same stamp set, and in red, I think. Let's see what this looks like. We may need a smaller one. Yeah, like that. I'm going to stamp. Actually, I'm going to glue first. Let me glue these two down so that because I want to stamp over the top of it. Let me ink her up. Let me take it off the glue book. You can probably see it better. Now, stamp this, make sure I have it upside right. Alright, I think what I'm going to do is just kind of scribble something. Need something a little, this is a 0.3. I don't want it in blue. I don't have a black pen. Maybe I want to do kind of like that. Her name is Juliette Dubois. So how you say that? Dubois? I don't know. I made it up. Dubois. That's how you say it, isn't it? Oh, the French are having a fit right now. Sorry, guys. All right. What else do we need? I want to put these stars on there just because I like them. I think I want to put them in. I want to put them in blue. Yes. Yes, I believe I do. What did I do with my block? There it is. Okay, what else do I want? Department. Do we need a department? Do it in black. Okay, that looks good. That looks pretty official. Now I'm gonna grunge up the edges because I don't like they're too new looking for me. So I'm gonna take my little paper distresser. And then I think I'm going to take something a little darker than Vintage Photo. Let's use Ground Espresso. see if we can darken that up a little. Let's wrinkle it. Put some glue on the edge of that stamp. All right, now let's put our grommet in. And then we can work on the other one. And put it hopefully toward the center a little bit. All right, and then this will hook in here, and I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to squeeze it shut. This is a Tim Holtz product. I don't know if they're available anymore. Oh, I didn't squeeze that at all. Oh, I bet I forgot to. I did. Dork. I still had it on the little side. Let's try that again. That's better. Okay. And I'm just going to take some needle nose and hopefully just kind of squeeze this shut so it won't come off. I can't get it. I can't get it where I need it to be. I feel like such a klutz here. Okay, there we go. All right, so there is our little press pass. So now let's do finish up the photographer here. So we'll go ahead and glue these two things down. And guys, these, I mean, you could use these little passport things and these little press things or whatever, really in any kind of journal. I think they're really cute and fun. They create a story. I like that. Okay, now we can stamp him up. He doesn't need near as many stamps because he has the name and everything's already on there. So let's put him in Department 177. There we go. And let's put his little mark on there. Trying to make sure I have it upside right. I can never tell with this one. Which is the right way. Alright, so it goes this way, I think. I'm sure it doesn't matter because I'm sure when they go through stamping, they just stamp. They don't worry about whether it's upstairs or upside right or not. Alright, what else do we need on this one? The serial number. This one says what? Agent. Would he be an agent? Probably not. That's more like detective. It says reference department. We don't want that. This one's just got a big number. That might look good. Yep. Okay, and then let's put some stars with his as well. On his. Okay, now we'll finish grunging that one up. Let's get our distresser here. And you could decorate the back too if you wanted to. You could also put them, I think that would look really cool if you put them like in a little flappy kind of cover, you know, so the top flips up. What do I do with my, there it is. Lost my ground espresso there for a minute. You know, like an ID wallet or whatever that kind of flips up. you could do that. But I thought the idea of having them where they were hanging on their jackets or whatever was kind of cool idea. Okay, so there he is. Let's put his grommet and little hooky on. Let's get it somewhat in the center. Grommet in. I keep scooting them further and further over there to the side. Put our hook in, and then take the pliers and hopefully have better success this time. Oh yeah. Alright, so there are our little press and photography passes. Those are super grungy and super cool. Now let's do, oh, you know what? There's a signature right there. I could have used that. I'll have to remember that. I took it out and then forgot I had it sitting over there. Okay, now let's do our bus tickets. And I'm going to stamp them with my stamp platform, I think, just so I can make sure and get a good stamp on them. Alright, so that way if I have to stamp them more than once, I can. Let me make sure I'm getting this on the planes. Yeah. Alright, so I need 2 of these. And I think I'm gonna just stamp them in black. Now you could just as easily stamp these on like tea-dyed paper or whatever and double them up and grunge them up yourself. Or just regular paper and grunge them up. But, oh, that came out really good. Okay, now I'm going to move it over and do the same thing. So I have 2 of them. There we go. I just knew I was going to have to double stamp those. If I hadn't have done that, they wouldn't have come out right. Alright, now I'm going to use my decal trimmer to trim the top and the bottom. And then regular cutter to trim the sides, if that makes sense. Alright, so I'm going to cut them out just roughly. So I can get the top and the bottom with the decal. I'm going to leave just a little bit of a border. Sorry guys, I know that thing makes terrible noise. Okay, and then I'll get my regular one. Speaking of, have any of y'all bought the new Tim Holtz trimmer? Not the rotary one, but just the one like this. And if so, do you like it? I'm contemplating whether to ask for it for Christmas. Because as you know, these Fisker ones are, blades are pretty expensive. Looks pretty straight. And they're getting harder to find, to be honest. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'll put these bigger pieces in my scrap bin and 2 little pieces in the trash. All right, so now we have our bus tickets or train tickets. So we're gonna rough those up. I'm just gonna crumble them. I'm not up in my hand. Okay, now I'm going to do some stamping and stuff on them. Alright, so ink around the edges. This is ground espresso. No, it isn't. It's vintage photo. I had to look and see what dauber I had. I think I will do ground espresso on the edges though. Or maybe I'm gonna do walnut stain. I want it to be really dark. I think walnut stain is darker than ground espresso. Okay, and then let's put some dots on here. I like this stamp because the dots are not overwhelming. You can see them, but they're not, you can see they're to me, you know, a good addition, but they're not like overwhelming. All right, and then I want to take my little bitty hole puncher and I want to kind of punch these in a couple places. Here, down here. I had to look at the ticket to see. I might do just a couple little tears. Nothing too big. All right, so there are our tickets. Just dressed up. So do we want to I think what we might want to do is just kind of for the purpose of the journal, just maybe paper clip those on there. I think I've got some rusted paper clips. Need to rust some more and that out. Cute. So when they go in the journal, now we have a couple of options. They can either clip on something like a belly band or something like that, or we can leave the clips hanging out the top, which is probably what I will do, and use this paper clip to actually kind of hold it in the page. So if we wanted our photographer and our reporter to go in our journal, we could just clip them in there and leave those hanging out. And then if you wanted to, you could hang something on here hanging out the top as well, or you can leave it just the clip. So there we go. There's our Wednesday grunge play for today. I think this came out really cute. If you give this a try, let me know how yours came out. I'd love to see everybody else's makes. So yeah, super cute. And you didn't have to put it, you wouldn't have to put them on facing pages like that. You could put them, you know, like one towards the front and one towards the back, and probably as I go through. See, this page has one of the old cameras on it. I also have a stamp, I think, that has an old camera. So as I go through and decorate this, I may move where they are. But I'll just leave them clipped right there for now. So I hope you guys like that, and I will see you guys tomorrow for I Saw It on Pinterest. Until then, bye.